So it's important to be able to distinguish between exponential functions, where our inputs go up top in the exponent, and power functions, where we have x and we're raising it to some power. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment to look over these guys. When we see a power function, it's going to look like x to the p for some p. When we see an exponential function, it's going to look like b to the x for some b. So the important thing is where our input is going. In power functions, our inputs go in the base, and the power is fixed. When we look at exponential functions, our base is fixed, and the input goes up in the power. So here we have a couple of examples. Take a moment, look them over. I'd like you to put a P where you see what you think is a power function, and an E where you think you see exponential functions. So pause and we'll go over this in just a second. Okay, so if we take a look at this, in our first example, we have 1.3 to the x. So notice that our input is going up into the exponent. This is an exponential function. In the next example, our input here, g of x, is going into the base. So we're taking x to the 1.3. So this is a classic example of a power function. In h of x, we have 1.01 to the x. So our input goes up top in the exponent. This is exponential. I is also exponential. Our input goes up into the exponent. In j, our input is down here in the base, and we have a fixed power. So this guy is called a power function. And the same thing is true in k. Let's see. So here we have our base, our input x is, we're going to always take the same power of that. Okay. So in general, exponential functions, if the base is bigger than 1, if we look at large times, our function values are going to get very big. And in English, we often will use this term growing exponentially whenever we mean that something is growing really quickly. You just want to be a little bit careful about using this in a math class. So the property that makes exponential functions exponential is that always in the same time period, we're going to see the same rate of change of our function. Sorry, the percentage change of our function is always going to stay the same. So examples like x squared are not going to grow exponentially. Only if you have this form, b to the x.